today we're making puppets. And you probably have all of these supplies already in your house. So the first supply you'll need today is a brown paper sack. Now I'm using the lunch size, but if you only have the grocery size at home, that's totally okay. You'll need a glue to add your embellishments to. Either one is fine. Scissors. And then I have some googly eyes. If you don't have googly eyes, that's totally okay. You can draw them or cut them out. I have a scrap paper bin here of different sizes and colors of construction paper for details. And then I also have these fabric and felt scraps to add details to my puppet. Something else you might want to have is to add color and details to your puppet is markers, crayons, pens, pencils, whatever kind of drawing material you might have at home that you want to use today, any of them are fine. I'll be using markers. Okay guys, let's get started. These are the basics for making a puppet. What you're going to do is you're going to open it up and stick your hand inside. And there'll be two sides. There'll be this plain side. This will be the back of your puppet. And the side, so my fingers are right here, the tips of my fingers, so I can move it back and forth. This will be the mouth. And then this would be the head or front of your puppet. And then it opens like this. Now, if you're making a person, you might want to grab some yarn and have some hair back here. I'm going to be making a dog, so I'm going to grab a piece of construction paper out of my scrap paper bin, and I'm going to cut out the shape that I want for my dog's head. And it's okay if it's bigger than your lunch bag. Actually makes it look really nice. So I'm going to glue it here. So you would glue it to the front. So you can use glue stick or regular glue. A glue stick will glue and dry a lot faster than this regular white glue, but this does hold better. This little dip right here is going to be my doggy's nose. So now I'm going to take a pink color and I'm going to cut out a rounded little nose. If you have buttons at home, a little button nose is always really cute. If you're gluing a button, you want to leave it, let it dry overnight with this type of glue. It's a little bit thicker and it will hold on a little bit better. Okay. Let's say you want to give your dog some spots. So I'm going to have one of his eyes be in a spot, and we can even give a name to our puppet. So maybe my dog's name is Spot. And I'm going to glue his spot on so that one of his eyes is in a spot. I'm going to grab some googly eyes. And I'm going to glue some googly eyes on my puppet. Now, with googly eyes, you probably want to use this stronger glue and let it dry for about 4 hours because it will hold on the googly eyes a lot better than a glue stick will. Okay. Next up, I want to add some floppy ears. And you know what? They can be any color that you want. I kind of am digging this 2 different colored dog I got going on. So I'm going to give him some black ears. Okay, so I'm going to fold this in half so I can get 2 ears. Like that. So perfect. I'm going to grab my glue stick, and I drew them kind of like a shoe and part of a leg because this is a great tab for glue, and you can stick it behind your dog and glue it. So what I did here is I glued it in between the bag and the brown piece of paper. In the art room, we like to talk about creating tabs when we're gluing and cutting because it's a great place to put the glue. Sometimes if we make the item the exact same size that we need extra space for the glue if we're putting an overlap or tucking under. Okay, now we've talked about if I stick my hand in here, I've got a mouth. So inside of here, I want to include a tongue, and your tongue can be sticking out all the time. I know some silly dogs always have their tongue hanging out. Or it can be just seen when you open up. So if you make it smaller, the only time you'll see the tongue is when it's sticking out. If you have created a nose like I have, a fun trick is to hide the tongue behind the nose. So when you open it up, the tongue kind of pops up, which is what we're gonna do. But it's also really cute sometimes when the dog has a tongue sticking out. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of measure where my nose is at. And I know I need the tongue right here. So I'm gonna put some glue down. I'm gonna test it, make sure it looks good before I stick it down. Okay, so now I've got my hand inside. When I open up, surprise, there's a tongue inside. If you're making a person, it can be really fun to include some teeth in here. So when the person's mouth opens up, you see their teeth. All right, next up, we're going to be using some felt scraps. So what I've done is I have cut out a piece from the felt. And when I did that, I kind of measured because I'm going to give my doggo a collar. And I'm going to measure it so that it's about the same length as my paper bag. And I'm going to cut out a little rainbow line. So like an arcing half circle, oval, rainbow type line. All right, and then I'm going to do another parallel line right next to it. This is going to be my dog's collar. So all I'm doing is creating the part that goes around the dog's neck. All right, so let's see. Looks like I can cut off a bit more. Perfect. And I would recommend when using felt to use the liquid Elmer's. Okay. Now I'm going to cut out a circle for the name tag. And then a smaller circle for the inside because I would like to write my doggie's name in the middle. So just make sure that this part is smaller than that one. Okay. I've already decided that my dog's name is going to be Spot, so I'm going to take my Sharpie and write his name on the collar. And a little teeny tiny paw print. Okay. And then glue that. Okay, just a few more details and then we're done with this cute doggy. So the first detail is we're going to add a tail on the back of him. Make it a little bit extra longer than you normally would because we're going to kind of glue it so that it's popping out. So I've got a little curve to my tail so it looks like he's wagging. I'm going to fold down the end of the tail. So whatever tail is going to be part of the tail that's going to be closest to his body. And then on this little piece that I folded down, I want to put glue. and then stick the glue down and make sure you lift it so it doesn't get stuck down. So now he has a tail that sticks out. Very cute. All right, I'm gonna add a few cute little paws to him. So I'm gonna fold a piece of brown paper and I'm going to cut out 2 roundish long pieces of paper. These are going to be glued on the inside, so it looks like our dog has arms. This is going to be the inside of his hand. So on the inside of his hand, paws typically have a little bit of detail. So when I'm making detail, instead of cutting out each detail by itself, I like to fold the paper and cut out. That way I can get more than one of what I'm cutting out. Save some time that way. So let's measure real quick. A little bit too big. So let me cut this down. And you know what, guys? It's okay if it's not perfect. So they don't have to match and they don't have to be perfect. This is fun if you get to make a bunch of these and you could do a puppet show with your family. And if you've got siblings, each of the siblings could make a puppet. So I folded this one 3 times, and that way when I cut out one tiny little oval, I'm gonna get 3. Looks like we're a little bit too big. A little bit too big. Gotta cut a little bit smaller. I've got kiddos in my classroom that are really great at cutting out super tiny things. Looks like I'm not great at that. Okay. So I want to put like 3 of these and then glue this underneath it. So I got to make 3 more for this side to make it symmetrical. Make them small. And because it's a puppet, these guys can talk, they're not real, so that could be really fun to put on a puppet show. All right, lots of gluing. I'll be right back and show you my finished product. All right, my doggy is done. So this is what it looks like when he's inside my hand. He's got these floppy ears, googly eyes, and I've glued the paws on the side of the bag so they're popping out. And on the back I've got this cute tail that sticks out. Isn't that adorable? Guys, I can't wait to see what you create with your lunch bag puppets. Please don't forget to turn in pictures on Google Classroom and tag me on social media. Bye!